So we have a couple of weather-related stories to wrap up today's town hall. So Heather's going to stick around to help us with this first one. All of our Storm Team 2 meteorologists have been telling us how warm August was, right? Well, we got this from the group Climate Central. It provides some perspective on what last month was like. Our average temperature was 75.7 degrees, more than 5 degrees above normal. Get this, Climate Central found that when compared to average, we were the hottest spot among the 180 cities examined. Again, that's looking at where we should be versus how hot we actually were. Now, if you look at the longer term, you can see the trend. Our August getting a lot warmer, up 2.5 degrees compared to 50 years ago. So what do we make of this? Again, Heather is still with us. Wanted to get your thoughts on all this.
Well, Michael, I think what really stands out to me is what you're looking at right now, the 50-year trend, right? There's no doubt about it that overall, yes, there are some ups and downs year to year. Our summers are getting warmer, and there's evidence to show that all 4 of our seasons here in Western New York are getting warmer. Believe it or not, winter is actually warming the fastest. But what's important to note, just because you saw that trend line going up and up, that's not to say that every summer after this summer is going to continue to get warmer, right? This summer and last summer both tied as the second warmest on record for Buffalo, but there are some of those ups and downs. What we're saying with the climate science here is that, we're increasing the chance for more of these hot spells to come around. We're not guaranteeing that every single summer is going to be just like this one, but the odds of record heat are going up.
And a crazy hot August, yet no individual day was crazy hot.
And that's what was amazing. There was not a single day this past August where we set a record high. So it was consistently hot in the afternoons, but not extreme heat.
Yeah.
What was more interesting was how warm the nights were. There were 4 nights that had record high low temperatures.
Yeah, crazy. Month to remember, Heather. Thank you. Hey, so besides the heat, this summer has also been pretty active in the tropics. You know this. People along the Gulf Coast are still cleaning up from Hurricane Ida, and those people are now dealing with flooding from the remnants of Hurricane Nicholas that hit this week. That storm is barely moving, dumping incredible amounts of rain on parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida. A lot of people kind of are thinking it seems like we're seeing more destructive weather lately, not just in terms of hurricanes and tropical storms, but wildfires, drought, flooding, etc. Is that claim true? Brandon Lewis with our National Verified team looks into whether or not these rare events really are happening more frequently.
Some meteorologists called Hurricane Ida a once-in-200-year flood event. And NOAA said the heat wave in the Pacific Northwest earlier this summer was a 1-in-1,000-year event. But some social media users say these 1-in-however-many-year events seem to be happening more often. So let's verify. Are rare extreme weather events happening more frequently? Our sources are NOAA, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, and the U.S. Global Climate Change Research Program. Part of the confusion stems from the definition of a 100-year storm. NOAA says that doesn't mean a storm that hits every 100 years, but instead a storm that has a 1% chance of happening in a given year. The odds are based on past records and don't account for climate change that we're seeing today. One way NOAA tracks the impact of storms is whether they cause more than $1 billion in damage adjusted for inflation. In the 1980s, there were less than 3 costly storms each year. That jumped to nearly 13 in the 2010s and 22 in 2020 alone. AccuWeather estimates Ida caused $95 billion in damage, making it one of the costliest storms of this century. So it's true, rare extreme weather events are happening more frequently, and we'll likely see more 1-in-100-year storms in the future because that statistic doesn't account for the continued impact of climate change. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
And we looked up some of those stats. Thankfully, our part of the country, especially around the Great Lakes, not seeing the dramatic increase in those storms that are causing at least $1 billion in damage, though we all know we aren't immune from it. That's going to do it for our town hall on this Wednesday. Thanks everybody for watching. Our text line number is 716-849-2220. You can send us questions or comments.